Hello and welcome to Community Cooking. I'm your host, Daryl Michalak, and welcome to another great show. Actually, the start of a two-series show. I was downtown Kenora talking to some people, and they said, hey, Daryl, I like your cooking shows. Lots of fun. We enjoy it. But boy, some of those recipes can be expensive. And that's true. They can be expensive. They said, hey, can you do some meals under $10? Which got me thinking and got me searching and got me talking to people. And I've come up with some shows on how to make a meal for four under $10. So tonight is the first one of those two shows. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to show you how to make a meal for under $10 for four people that still tastes good, that is scrumptious, that isn't hard to make, doesn't take a long time, and will satisfy the crowds at the house. So that's tonight on Community Cooking. Hello, we're back. What I did to prove that this would work, I assume that we always have a few things left in our kitchen. I assume we have some salt. I assume we have some pepper. I assume we might have some garlic powder. I bought butter, but usually you have some butter around the house. And I also had rice already with me here, but you may have that in. But everything I bought today, except for the rice, which I assumed we had, I bought butter and all that kind of stuff, was $20 for everything. You're saying, well, you said meals under $10. This is enough stuff here for two meals. And the first of those two meals will be creamed peas and eggs on toast. Now, this used to be such a treat when I was a kid. I always hoped for the creamed peas or the creamed eggs, peas and eggs on toast night, because that was my favorite night. And then I realized when I got much older that my mom said, well, that's because things were tight and there wasn't much around the house. So that's what I had to work with. So it was still a treat for me, and we're going to make it a treat for you. Now, what we have here is I'm going to double up this recipe because it's kind of small to start with, and we need to be able to feed four people, and they can't be hungry. So we have 4 cups of frozen peas that have basically been thawed. We also have 1 1/3 cups of water. We have 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Salt is here. We have 6 tablespoons of butter. Now, I bought butter, but we already had some in the fridge, so I'm going to use that up first, okay, which is very important to use up what's in the fridge. 2/3 of heavy cream or cream. You got to use what you got. This is a light cream, but buy heavy cream, light cream. And we'll just add a little bit more flour for the thickening. Speaking of that, we need 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and we need 2 tablespoons of white sugar, and then I bought 6 eggs and a loaf of bread. So there we have it. That's going to be our meal tonight. And how do we get started? You ask? Well, let me tell you. We need to get our saucepan cooking, heat it up. In a medium saucepan, combine water, peas, and salt, and bring to a boil, then stir in butter. So we'll put in our water, which is 1 1/3 cups of water. That'll go there. Move those out of the way. We've turned that up to high. Then we will add our 4 cups of peas. Basically, here we go. Our cups of peas are in there. Now these are frozen peas. Now when you're doing a meal where you're trying to scrimp and you're trying to do it, in a budget, you don't have to buy what you might think is inferior stuff. Those peas are the sweet little tiny peas. You got to add some flavor, zest where you can, but still keep it in budget. Okay, so in a medium saucepan, peas, water, salt. Now our salt, it calls for, where is the salt? 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So we have a teaspoon here. So about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. We'll put that in. Probably that's closer to a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, but a little extra flavor to it all. And also, too, you know what I'm going to do is spill salt on the table. Okay, what shoulder again? Right, left? No, I'll do both there. There we go. Okay, whatever. Okay, and I'm also going to put just a little bit of pepper in there. Just a little shake. That's my own flavoring adding to that. Okay, so we stir this up now. Okay, and got to bring it to a boil is what it said. That, and what else do you need to go in there? You combine the peas, water, and salt. Bring to a boil, then we're going to stir in our butter. Now the butter, they're calling for 6 tablespoons of butter. So this is like 1 tablespoon. I'm just going to throw it in this glass for now. I just had the water in it. 2 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons. 4. 5. And 6. Heck, there's just that left. We might as well put it in there. There we go. Okay, but the first thing we need to get this to a boil, which it's going to be there soon. The element's very hot underneath here. Like I said, this is one of my favorite dishes as a kid. I loved it. So, you know, I hope you like it too. I went looking for a cream dish. Cream, you know, Alfredo cream or cream. Go search the internet, talk to family members. My sister said, hey, it's just an Alfredo one. Another person told me, well, it's this way or that way. You know what? You got to go find that one that works for you. This one is pretty simple. We have cream, we have some flour, we have some salt, sugar. That's basically the cream sauce. Everything else, and butter, of course. Everything else is just the added that goes into it. So, and I know some that get as simple as a little bit of flour, some water, and a very small amount of milk. So you can do lots with very little when you need to. Okay, that's not quite boiling yet. Close, heat's getting there. It was kind of funny talking to different people about this recipe, about doing a show for meals under $10. And most of the people that I know, we talked about it, and you know, things were tight when we were kids, and it was kind of neat listening to people talk about their favorite food or one of their favorite foods that they still have now, and it was made because there wasn't a lot left in the kitchen or a lot left in the house. So memories are made by people by making it special, not necessarily what it is. So remember that when you're cooking around the house, when you're putting stuff together for your family, moms when you're cooking for the kids, dads when you're cooking for the kids, they're going to remember those recipes. Just put a little flair to it, add a story with it, and cooking can be a lot of fun. Okay, here we are. That's almost boiling. Okay. Oh, it's very close. Very close. See, those peas won't totally thawed yet. So, of course, they're going to take a little longer to get the boiling because they're frozen and it's keeping it cold. And then we need to stir in butter. Now, it says stir in butter. It didn't say soften butter. So, I'm sure that we'll just put that in. And then we're going to turn that down and put a lid on it to keep it warm. I need to find a lid. That ain't gonna work. Okay. Do you ever think I'm a little noisy in the kitchen? So my wife tells me, quiet down out there. And my boys are very quiet children too. They take after dad. Okay. Alrighty, there we have it boiling. Now we need to stir in our butter. So in goes the butter, like so, and it's gonna melt in there. So stir that in. There's the butter being stirred into our peas. And we're going to turn that down because what we need to do is we need to whisk our other section of it here. So I'm going to turn that down just to low for now. Just keep the heat there. Oh, wrong lid. I bring off the wrong lid. I bring off the right lid. I put the wrong lid on there. Well, duh. Okay, next, what we need to do in a small bowl, right here, we need to whisk together the cream, the flour, and the sugar, and then stir the mixture into the peas. So, what do we need to do here? I need to clean my measuring spoons, and in a small bowl, whisk together cream, flour, and sugar. So, the flour is 4 tablespoons. So, here's my flour. Get that out of the way. Sorry about that, folks. So, 4 tablespoons of flour. So, 1, 2, 3. I'm a little generous here because my cream isn't a heavy cream. Okay, and then we can add more if we need to. Cream, flour, sugar. The sugar, we need 2 tablespoons of white sugar. So that's 2 teaspoons, tablespoons. So 1, 2. And then we need to whisk in the cream. Make sure you got to follow. Hey, you know me and recipes and all that kind of stuff. Follow them when you're doing them for the first time. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in there. to add a bit of flavor, not very much. And then, so what we need to do now is we need to whisk together all this stuff. So I have my whisk here, and we'll put that in and we'll start whisking away, like so. And there we have it. Now this is kind of like if you make gravy at home. We're kind of close to what we do for making gravy. You put flour and water together, you whisk it up, and then, of course, you put it into the renderings left from the turkey or the roast. Potato water is always a good one to mix in with the leftovers from that. So we know this is going to thicken up. I'm actually going to add, see, if you look at that, it's not quite as thick as I'd want it to be. I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon. So 4 tablespoons if you have the heavy cream, 5 if you're using a little lighter cream. Because I want this to be creamy, that's for sure. Okay, so there we have it. It's now whisked together nicely. You tilt up your bowl to make sure that you get all the flour off everything. Now, it says we need to cook over a medium heat. We need to stir this into there and cook for about 5 minutes. So off comes the lid. It's boiled up nicely. Medium-high heat. I'll turn that back up to medium, like so. And then we'll stir this in. So this is our creaming. And it will bubble up and get thicker as we go along here. Yes, it will. Okay, and it already has. That's wonderful. Look at all that's. Oh, yes. Okay, so that needs about 5 minutes. I'm going to put a little bit more cream in there, I believe. Just a little bit. Oh, yes, it's creaming up nicely. Okay, so we don't need the heat quite that high. Now, the other ingredient that's going into this, excuse my back, is we're going to add some eggs. Now, what I did with the eggs is I boiled them, and they simply need to be shelled, cut up, and put in. So we'll put the lid right in front of me, back on there. Keep that on low. It's going to cook for 5 minutes. When we come back, we'll have our eggs shelled, sliced, ready to go in. We will have our toast made, and we'll show you looks and how great it tastes. So, okay, we're back. There's our hard-boiled eggs. I boiled them hard and then let them cool down, slice them up. We're going to stir those into our peas, our cream pea mixture, which looks fantastic. I got to tell you, you know what? When you try to do something that your mom used to do, you're always a little bit hesitant because you don't know if it's going to quite turn out. But I'll tell you, this looks like it. And I guess we're going to find out if it tastes like it very soon. We have to get ourselves a plate. Like I said, we're going to be feeding 4 people. So we have our toast here. I buttered the toast. We'll make this a double whammy toast here. So now the butter on the toast, I think, is really a huge part of it. It adds a nice flavor to it. Okay, so there's our toast. Quickly go over what we have here. This is cream peas and eggs on toast. We have 4 cups of frozen green peas thawed, 1 1/3 cups of water, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 6 tablespoons of butter, 2/3, well, a little bit more than 2/3 light cream, 4 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of white sugar. We had 6 eggs. I only cut up 4, and a loaf of bread, of course. And the butter, we need a little bit more to butter our bread. In a medium saucepan, we combine the peas, the water, and the salt, bring to a boil, then we stir in the butter. Peas, water, salt, then we stir in the butter. Then in a small bowl, we whisk together the cream, the flour, and the sugar. We stir that, cover, cook at a medium heat until thick and bubbly, about 5 minutes. At that point, I stirred in the eggs, and I'll put this down here and bring this over for y'all to look at. Get some nice ladle to serve it up. Now, what you have here is you got your vegetables, you got protein from your eggs, you got cream, you got dairy product. You have a nice, well-rounded meal, and this will easily serve 4 people. There we have it. Now, of course, you can add salt and pepper to taste as you like. This is a little thick, but it's wonderful. I love it thick, actually. Gotta be truthful with you. It's my favorite way there. Okay, I need a fork, and we're just going to go over the egg and the peas, cut off a piece of the toast, Well, it's going to be, lost a little bit here. Second here. There we have it. Green peas and eggs on toast. First time for me. It's a meal under $10. Feed 4 people. A good meal. Also, too, have some fruit. Cut up a piece of fruit. Have for a little bit for dessert afterwards. But here we go. Everything I remembered. A little bit of salt on the top. Not a lot. And there you have it. A wonderful meal that you can serve 4 people. You could probably get 6 out of that one I put together. Under $10. They won't walk away hungry. They'll have a little bit of everything. And you know what? In today's world, when things are tight, it's nice to be able to feed everybody for under $10 in your home and make it good, make it fun. I'd like to thank you, the viewers, for watching us each and every week. And you know what? This is starting to cool, and I'm really hungry. So we're going to say goodnight. Ta-ta. Next toast is up burning. The alarm's not going to go off. You got the smoke coming up there, eh? My viewers will have a good time with that one. Anyways, that's Community Cooking for this week. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next week cooking in the kitchen. Num, num, num.